Hey, hi, it's me, your favorite Satanist VTuber, Jill, and this is my first video after a long hiatus. Possibly not what you expected, but it is what it is. Politics. Yay. So I plan to start making more videos, which hopefully is gonna go well. But in case you missed me, I stream like a lot, and I'm gonna shell out my Twitch channel right now. Boom, it's here. And also in the links down below. Go follow it. I stream. It's good. It's good. It's a good time. Chat. Say that it's a good time. Chat loves it. Just trust me on that. But yeah. So my first video back is gonna be a political video because I wanted to get into the political sphere a long time. I don't think I can call myself the first political VTuber, but I can call myself the first satanic political VTuber, which is what I'm gonna call myself. And we're gonna do a political compass test. Now, mind you, it's not great. There are better political tests out there, such as 8 values or 9 values. It's called. I don't remember. But this is like the most popular one, and it's relatively quick, and people love it. So I'm gonna post it in hopes of attracting attention. If you clicked it, it worked. Anyhow, we're gonna start with it, and hopefully we're gonna go through it quickly because I'm running out of water and I really want to piss. Okay, first question. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than interest of transnational corporations. Uh, ugh. Here's the question from chat, which proves that my chat is alive and not dead. Uh, you agree on most topics, and when you disagree, it's not something you introduce with much nuance. Oh yeah, in regards to Eris video, I'm gonna answer it here right now. I wouldn't say that I do not introduce it with without nuisance. For the lack of a better word, there's no way to introduce it with nuisance, because my biggest critique for Eris, who is technically the first political VTuber, is that she doesn't go hard enough and she tries to be too civil. And to give you an example of that, I would just need to go and watch one of her videos or to debate her. And while I wouldn't mind debating her, she's not here. So, yeah, I mostly agree with her because she's progressive, which I am. And my biggest critique for her is that she doesn't go hard enough on being progressive, which is something that can be proven only when you watch her video. So I understand why you don't believe me and require more proof. I don't have a lot of credibility as it stands right now as a political figure, but I hope that my credibility as a political figure gonna grow as I make more content. Speaking of the question, if economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than interests of transnational corporations. Strongly agree. Of course. Fuck corporations. Of course. Oh yeah, by the way, answering your questions, why do I do it? Clicks. I'm hoping that by posting a video with the name of a political VTuber in it, I can attract some sort of attention from people. And if I can get some shit going, it's only going to increase my the clickbaits and everything. That's how you make it, baby. That's how you make it big, baby. Gotta get those clicks, gotta get those reactions. I'd always support my country whenever it was right or wrong. Strongly disagree. Of course, that's not a smart thing to do. If your country is doing something bad, you critique it. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Of course, I was born in Russia. I immigrated to America. I feel no oh my god, how do you say it in English? Patriotism. I feel no patriotism. And I think patriotism as a whole is a stupid concept because countries are a stupid concept. Um, yeah. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races compared to other races, but whatever. Of course not. Uh, there's only one race, human. There isn't really like African, European, white, black. That's not really race difference. That's like just flavors. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Sure, I'll go agree. It's more of a philosophical question, but sure. Military action that defines international law is sometimes justified. Of course, I agree here. The example that I love to give here is Hitler. If somebody like Hitler appeared again, I think that military actions against them would be very much justified. Military actions in the name of freedom and democracy are good, in my opinion. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. Yeah, like obviously it happens. Of course. People are ultimately divided more by class than nationality. That's a good one. I'm gonna say strongly agree. Agree. I'm gonna go with agree. Yeah. I think that there's the perception that nationality is what divides people the most, and I think that some people definitely do believe that. But inherently, I think that there is a much bigger division when comes by class. Like India could be a good example. There's a huge division of people based on class in the country. So, and like you might feel stronger resentment to other people based on your nationality, but objectively, you're more divided among your own people in terms of class than you are divided from other people based on nationality. You have more in common as a, let's say, middle class American. You have more in common with a middle class Japanese person than you have with a rich American. That's how it is. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I'm fairly sure that bigger unemployment is a result. Oh, that's a good one. That's like economics questions. I don't like economics that much. You could say that inflation. You could say that inflation. No, inflation doesn't cause unemployment. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that unemployment causes inflation. It depends. But I do think that unemployment is a more important thing to take care of. I think that the more people are working, the more money you have in circulation, and therefore the better you can combat inflation. So agree on this one. No, wait. No, disagree. Wow, read it incorrectly. Controlling unemployment is more important than controlling inflation. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require, yeah, of course, regulate the fuck out of them. I mean, history has proven that corporations have no care for environment or people. They have no morals. They're just machines, which is fine, but that's why you need to regulate them. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. Of course, the freer the market, the freer the people. Strongly disagree. There is no such thing as a free market. When you have a free market, which is utterly and completely unregulated, it gives a chance for people to amass fortune, which then allows them to establish monopoly and such, which is what we see right now. The only way to make sure that the market is free and the people in the market are free is to regulate the market so that no one can abuse it and keep other people from being free. Easy and simple. It's a sad reflection in our society that something as basic as drinking water is now bottled, branded consumer product. Sure, agree, it's stupid, but I think there's more pressing issues. Land shouldn't be commodity to be bought and sold, of course. My personal opinion is that land should be probably government owned and given to people. It shouldn't be sold, shouldn't be bought. It's a stupid concept that you can make money off owning a land. Just doesn't track. is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to the society. So stuff like, I know people who invest, no, not actually people who invest. That is like a 50-50 example. Fucking Wall Street people, which are, moving the money by buying and selling stocks. They're not doing anything. They're not providing. They're not creating anything. They're not providing any value. It's just a huge fucking circle jerk of idiots, pretty much. Yep, strongly agree. Protectionism is something sometimes necessary in trade. If I remember correctly, protectionism is when you. I'm gonna Google it. I don't remember. The theory of or practice of shielding a country's domestic industries from foreign competition by taxing imports. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna say agree. Like, it is necessary. Like, yeah, duh. We don't live in a nice place where everybody plays nicely. So I'm gonna say that it is sometimes necessary. It's not necessary when you wanna financially choke a developing country, but I think that when we're talking about relationships between America and big giants such as China and possibly, I guess, Russia, I think that imposing the taxes there is justifiable. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Strongly disagree, of course. Obviously. The rich are too highly taxed. Hell no. In what fucking place you live for the rich to be too highly oh yeah, let's tax the rich 1% of their wealth. What a joke. What a joke. Those with ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Of course not. Universal healthcare, give it to us. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Yeah, like, they already should do that. That is the law. You cannot falsely advertise something, but there are loopholes, and those loopholes should be choked out. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predatory multinationals to create monopolies. Yeah, of course, I already said that before. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Strongly disagree. All authority should be questioned, of course. That is not to say all authority should be distrusted, but it always should be questioned. Always. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I am personally a little bit of a vengeful person, a little bit, but I'm gonna say disagree. I do think that objectively that's not a good strategy. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Strongly disagree. I love art. I'm a big supporter of art, and I would rather my taxes go to, art than, I don't know, war or police brutality, just saying. Or maybe roads. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Ooh, I'm about to have a hot take here. So, a lot of people on the left love to say that school attendance should not be compulsory. What I say, strongly disagree. They should be compulsory. Why? Because if they were not compulsory, no one would go to fucking schools. Like, kids would not go to fucking schools if they were not compulsory. They would not. I think it's important to think about how we can make sure that children stay in schools and how education is interesting to them and beneficial to them, rather than worrying about attendance being compulsory or not. At the end of the day, the only reason why students, well, not the only reason, no. One of the biggest reasons why the students don't want to attend the school, because that shit is boring, not interesting. If you make it interesting, there's going to be less desire to ditch and skip. But there still will be desire because, you know, they're teenagers, they're kind of stupid. They lack perspective, which is fine because you're developing. But that's why it should be compulsory. Um, all people have their rights, but it's better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep their own kind. I don't like how this question is worded. So, um, it depends. Like, if you ask me, should Republicans and conservatives stick to conservatives and Republicans and leave the other people alone? I probably would say yes, but inherently, I would say disagree. I do think that segregation of any sort is not inherently a good idea. I do think that mixing together is what leads people to change their opinions. Mind you, your 65-year-old dad who's a hardcore conservative and sometimes loves to drop the N word is probably not going to change his opinions by associating with liberals and far left people, but his child might by associating with those far left people. You don't want to segregate people and isolate them because that shit leads to radicalization and people being more extreme with their views, which is obviously not great. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Strong disagree. It had been scientifically proven that it doesn't work. Physical punishment like this does not work. Children either learn that they either children learn to not do something because it gets punishment, or they don't learn shit because they're too focused on the pain that they're experiencing. Physical punishment does not work, period. It just doesn't, like, objectively. It's natural for children to keep secrets from their parents. Of course, it is. It just is. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of pro drugs here, so yeah. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generations to find jobs. Strong disagree. I think that's very bad. The prime function of a school should be to educate children, ideally, to create smart members of society, not to prepare them for a job and to kick them out once they're 18. That's not how it should work. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Strongly disagree. That's eugenics. We don't fuck with that. That's a slippery slope. Very, very bad. Today it's people with disabilities. Tomorrow it's black people, and then it's people with brown hair. You don't do that shit. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Strongly disagree. It's not the most important thing. I do think that discipline is important. I don't think that it's the most important thing. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. Strongly disagree. If you are from some tribe where you believe that you should cannibalize people, I do think that you're not civilized. But to add to that, that is an example that a lot of conservative people love to give. So I'm going to hit you with another example. How about Russian people in Russia who are homophobic as fuck? I consider them not civilized as well. What about people in Saudi Arabia who believe that women should be stoned to death when they cheat? I believe that those people are also savages. What about hardcore Orthodox Christians in America? I don't know. I think those people are savages as well with their approach to life and their disregard of climate change and rights for women and gay people and trans people. So no, I think there's definitely civilized people and there's not civilized people, and people who are progressive are civilized ones for the most part. I'm being a little bit reductive here, but that's the gist of it. Those who are able to work or refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Strongly disagree. I believe in universal welfare. It's the job of the government to provide for the people, and if people want to sit on their ass and do nothing and get money, I think it's fine. But we have data mostly for Nordic, Scandinavian countries, I believe, that showcases that welfare does not produce a bad result. I think it's Scandinavian countries. I might be wrong right now. I hope I'm not. But the idea is that when people don't have to worry about people who don't have to worry about poor conditions tend to want to work jobs instead of having to go and find a job which is miserable. They can spend time looking for a job that they enjoy. Also, there's no opportunity for work. Don't treat work as an opportunity, because when you treat it as an opportunity, you will take any shitty work and you will accept any conditions whatsoever. It is not an opportunity to work. It's just your, I don't know, right or something. I don't know how to end this tangent, so I'm just gonna move on to the next question after I take a sip. Oh my god. Okay. Water's gone. When you're troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Strongly disagree. That's like the idea that you should not be you should not think about why you feel bad. You should just push those things away. That's not great. That's why you have men at the age of 40 finally losing it and then killing themselves, or even worse, killing their family and then themselves. If you have problems, think about it, talk about it, get help. It's very good. Bottom line, think about it. Try to understand why you feel the way that you do, and try to see what you can do to eliminate the problem of thinking bad. And also, this also implies that when you feel bad as the result of systemic injustice, you should not think about it, but should focus on cheerful things, which of course is dog shit. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their country. I disagree. The only reason why I don't pick strong disagree, because there is a percentage of first generation immigrants who do not fully integrate, which is fine. But I don't think that it's a rule that any and all first generation immigrants can never fully integrate. I've met first generation immigrants who did fully integrate. I don't know if Chad can correct me, but I think I am a first generation immigrant, because I wasn't born here. I arrived here. I arrived here at a young age, at the age of 13, but I think I'm still a first generation immigrant because I wasn't born here. Unless because of my age, I'm considered a second generation. I don't know those details. What's good for the most successful corporation is always ultimately good for all of us. Of course not. That's just asinine. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding. Oh, that's a good question. So I would disagree. I think if it's like a scientific institution, it should be fine. I'm not too certain this question, but I think I disagree more than I agree. I think if it's a scientific institution, if it's like objectively scientific, or as much as it can be objectively scientific, it should be fine. Yeah. 4 out of 6. We're almost there. Our civil liberties are being excessively carved in the name of counterterrorism. Not excessively, I wouldn't say. There is a percentage, but I think it's still within like limits of acceptability, I would say. A significant advantage of one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. Technically, this question is not incorrect in its wording, but I will say disagree. Because like it is correct that the advantage of one party state is that it avoids the delay progress that democratic political system suffers from. But I do think that inherently democratic delay does lead to better outcomes more than it doesn't. And one party state is a slippery slope, which is why I say that I don't like the wording of this question, because technically it's not incorrect, but I don't like the implications of it, so I'm going to say disagree and hope that you understand why I say disagree. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers needs to be warned. Disagree. You have right to privacy, and I think that this right is fine. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Ooh, that's a good one. Uh, sure. Given how our system works, you know what? Scrap it. I think there are people who should be put to death penalty. Very limited, and it should be heavily regulated. But there is a percentage of people who will not be re-educated or rehabilitated. The idea that anyone can be rehabilitated is not a correct idea. There is a percentage of people who never will. And in this case, you can either keep those people locked up and use them as slave labor, or you can just kill them. And I think that killing them might be a better decision than keeping them as slaves for no good reason. You know? I don't know. Could be a good question to debate, but it is what it is. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Strongly disagree. Of course not. That's inherently fascist adjacent idea. I don't believe that. I believe that it's all about cooperation, that this provides better path forward. Obviously, there should be people above, but it's not a strong hierarchy. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything should be considered art at all. Once again, fascistic idea. Fascists don't want you to think about art. While I don't particularly enjoy abstract art, I think that it is art nonetheless, because all art is subjective. So, strongly disagree. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Strongly disagree, because rehabilitation provides more net positive. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. Once again, some, yes. So I will have to say agree, because like some criminals cannot be rehabilitated, true. You still should try, and only when you try and it doesn't work, then you can, I don't know, kill them or some. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. I'm gonna say disagree. I'm not gonna say strongly disagree, because there is a degree of importance when it comes to manufacturers and business people, at least right now, how society works. But I do believe that the writer and the artist are inherently a lot more important, because without them, the piece of art would not exist. You can make machines make art, but it's not going to be interesting. It can be a good meme, but you know. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Strongly disagree. If I could be a homestay father, take care of the house, stream, and then be pegged by my wife who comes in and makes 100K per year, I would not mind that one bit. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Of course, that's just true. It is. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Strongly disagree. By saying that you make peace with establishment, you imply that you turn the blind eye to injustices, or you believe that nothing can be changed. I disagree with that. Be angry, be demanding, critique the government, fight for what you believe. That's what I believe. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly agree. No, I'm kidding. Strongly disagree. Fuck astrology, man. What the fuck? You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Strongly disagree. No charity will ever be better than a strong systemic program, of course. Some people are naturally unlucky. I do actually agree with that. I'm not 100. I'm not an atheist, so I don't disregard everything unnatural. So I do believe that some people are just kind of more unlucky than the other people. It's just how it is, you know. It is important that my child's school instills religious values. Hell no. You're welcome for that, and also, hell no. And the final page, sex outside marriage is usually moral. Of course not. Fuck around safely and with consent. As a same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Of course, there are thousands of homeless children dying, starving, living miserable lives, and they grow up without families. And when they reach a certain age, they just get kicked out. No one cares for them. They become homeless. They die. They suffer. And if you believe that this is a better alternative to them being adopted by gay families, you don't care about homeless children. You only care about your made-up culture war. And you're also homophobic and bigoted. Pornography depicting consenting adults be legal for the adult population. Of course. I think porn should be a form of art. I would love to have truly artistic, pornographic, full-length films. Of course. What goes on a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Of course. No one can feel naturally homosexual. Disagree. When I see certain game characters such as Xenos from Final Fantasy XIV, the only thing I can think of is about eating his ass out. That's just how it be. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. No, it hasn't. Strongly disagree. So, mind you, this compass does have a tendency to bring people closer to the center. Oh, that's a lot further than I thought. Interesting. Okay, so that's the result. Very left and rather libertarian. That is to say, I love communism. I love when money don't exist, and I'm halfway close to anarchy. Wow, I was actually expecting myself to be like somewhere here-ish, like right here, closer to the middle line of authoritarian and libertarian, like somewhere over here, because I don't consider myself an anarchist. And I do like it when the government does stuff. So I would personally put myself somewhere here, but the fact that it placed me over here, yeah, sure, not bad, not bad, not bad. Bit too libertarian, and bit too left, but otherwise, sure, poggers. So yeah, that was the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was interesting, and I hope it's gonna get me some clicks. If there's anyone who would love to debate me, please do. I need people to know that I exist. I need people to watch me to validate my existence. Also, if you feel that you hate me for being left or Satanist, which is not a joke, or anything in between, feel free to leave the comment below, because that brings attention to my channel, which I appreciate. And with that being said, this is the end of the video. I'm gonna try to make more videos in the future, so stick around for that. And also check out my Twitch. I stream like a lot. Check it out. And my next video is probably not gonna be a political video. I want to do some like game-based videos, but I will try to make more political videos in the future. So hopefully that pops off, and I'll see you around. Mwah.